It's highly unusual for day one to see a big sell-off like this. In fact, if we don't, heaven forbid, if we don't rally and we close right here, this would be the worst opening day of any year since 1932 for the Dow.
Did you see that coming? Do you understand why that might be, that it's blown out of nowhere?
No, I looked at weakness. You recall last week we talked about the closing 2 days of the year being weak.
And we couldn't find direction at the end of last year. We desperately were looking for that so-called Santa Claus rally, and none came.
Yeah, no, we're going to have to put Santa's picture on a milk carton. It looks like he's been hijacked here somewhere. But I'm hoping for a little bit better response, perhaps after Europe closes, only because the volume is heavier than normal in the first half hour here. And that suggests to me that some of our friends across the pond are taking advantage of the liquidity over here on this side.
You know, you've been waiting for us to break that dependent correlation from oil and the S&P 500. We've done it. I mean, oil prices are up 3% here, 4% Brent, and that's not given much of a boost to the U.S. market. Is it because it's on the back of rising, worrisome tensions in the Middle East?
Yeah, no, I think that's a good perception. I would tell you this, I'm a little disappointed that the oil reaction is rather muted. I would think with two major powers getting ready to go, at least verbally, head-to-head, you would think that with a proxy war going on in Yemen, lobbing a few missiles into the Saudi Arabian oil facilities. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't actually move oil a little bit stronger.
I guess the China concerns weigh on that. It pulls in the opposite direction. It's a risk-off day.
Yeah, no, I would agree. If China were to implode economically, that would be a great drop in demand and then change.
That's not really where we are, I guess. I hope we're not there.
Right.
What's more important, do you think, moving forward for 2016? What we're beginning to see out of China, or what we're beginning to see out of the Middle East?
Well, obviously the Middle East could be, to use an overworked phrase, a true powder keg, and almost literally. But China I want to keep an eye on because in Sarah's special case of watching currencies, that currency got weak again. If that continues to weaken, it will maybe far more important than actually the market selling off 7%.
Though Stephen Roach, a China expert, told us no hard landing, he really played down the fears about the economy in terms of the move on markets today. And we had Russ Kostrich at BlackRock also saying he's still pretty positive on U.S. markets. How do you think that sell-side sentiment factors in to 2016? It's downbeat, but they're still expecting gains.
No, I hear what they're expecting. Let's not forget last year, a lot of people were expecting gains too. But I am worried a little bit more about not the economy as much as the currency. Because if they let that slip a little further, and we got up to the edge of currency wars last year, and if China allows its currency to continue to weaken, I think we'll have some trouble.
What about the ISM manufacturing index, which is below 50 for a second straight month, which would apparently indicate that there's some sort of contraction, at least on a survey basis, within manufacturing?
Yeah, it's troublesome, but I don't necessarily think it's panicky yet. I want to look at some other figures, some of the ones that Stephen Roach cited, electrical consumption, things like that, where you get really better figures than the government figures.
We're looking at all the major industry groups are in the red right now. Even energy isn't catching a bit off that. Interestingly, technology is selling off the hardest. What does that tell you?
Well, again, I think concerns about international commerce. Technology has been a beneficiary of international commerce, and I think if they think that's going to slow down, then they're going to take some profits.
And rising stock markets.
And take some profits.
Good to see you, Art.